Speaking of really good Apocrypha books, it's the book of Daniel with the story of Susanna. In your Catholic Bibles and Latin Vulgate translations from the Roman Catholics, Douay Rheims, it's in chapter 13. Chapter 14 is Bel and the Dragon. If you have the Septuagint, Bel and the Dragon is after chapter 12 of Daniel, but Susanna is before chapter 1 of Daniel, because it says Daniel was a youth in those times. So basically, if you read this story, it's such a good story. And you have to kind of wonder why they wanted it removed from the Apocrypha, or why they didn't even like it. Of all the ones they could have removed, why didn't they leave this one? You know, and without getting into the Apocrypha too much and the history behind it, you can buy the Oxford Bible Translation, third edition, on Amazon, which gives you very thorough information on the Apocrypha section and each and every book, including the documentary Hypothesis about the Torah. So that's a very in-depth Bible study book that you're going to want to get, the Oxford one. I'm not getting into Apocrypha history, okay? But I believe in the Apocrypha. And here's why. You read this story, and it's about a righteous woman with a righteous husband, and she ends up walking in the garden, bathing in her own garden, like a Bathsheba type of thing. And she is approached by two elders of the city that are lusting after her. They know her schedule, they know when she's alone, and so they went after her and said, hey, if you don't lie with us, we're going to say that you cheated on your husband with another guy and this and that. So she screams, and they run and hide, where she tries to accuse them of what they said. And since they were very well respected elders, it didn't go in her favor. So at the end of it, she's pretty much about to be executed according to the law of Moses, right? She's about to be in trouble. So Daniel rises up amongst the crowd, and it says that he was full with the Holy Spirit. That's the only reason he raises his voice, and he says, separate the two leaders, separate the two elders. And he interviews them, and he says, well, he tells the whole audience, this girl is innocent, and I'm going to prove it. Once he separates the elders, he questions them individually and says, you saw her cheating on her husband. Where? Which tree? And each time they both said different trees. So one elder said this one and the other one said another one. And that's when Daniel said, you're both lying. And they had the elders executed instead. And they proved that she was innocent. Why is this an important story? Because these were the two elders. Almost got away with making an innocent person guilty. Why? Because of their position, even though there was lust in their hearts, and they were the wicked ones, and there was no proof other than the Holy Spirit rising up in Daniel and making a scene. This is very important for us today, because how many leaders, pastors, co-pastors, anybody in authority really could be doing the exact same thing, picking on innocent people and making them guilty and walking away when they are the ones that are guilty. I'm not going to name names, but there's a lot. So this is one of the most interesting stories, because this happens to this day. And if we had this in our Bibles, I don't think it would be preached upon. And even though it's not, and people know it's a good story, they still need to preach on it, because this happens to this day. God is always watching, and the Holy Spirit will rise up to protect the innocent ones, even when there's no proof.